What is Trent Noah's role going to be for the Kentucky Wildcats? That is the conversation on today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer and editor over at Wildcats Today, joined as always by my co-host, Carson Nash. Carson, you're a little bit rowdy today. You know, you're going to Nashville this weekend. You and Pops and Jeff, you and Pops and Jake and some of the fellas. How are we feeling? You going to get active? Stop at Robert's Western World? What's the weekend going to look like? Break it down for me.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting more excited by the day. You know, it's Thursday, so I'm itching at this point. But yeah, got to make an appearance at Robert's Western World. You know, it's a very underrated bar down there in Nashville. It's a little hole in the wall, but $2 beers, you cannot beat $2 beers in Nashville.
Not often that you get called a legend at a bar, but Carson, you and I will forever be legends at that bar for we created the tower out of Sprite cans in there. It was crazy. It was really cool. But that's a story for another day. Maybe we'll have to show that picture sometime, Carson. Next year when we're previewing
Wildcats Today after dark.
Yes, when we're previewing the SEC tournament, we'll show that picture of the Sprite tower we made. It was pretty impressive. There was others involved. There was others involved. You know, a lot of our friends like to drink Sprite. So, but before we get into Trent Noah, we'll get there in a minute. We got to spend a minute or two on Robin Reed. So, Carson, you know, when the Houston Rockets had the 3rd overall pick and Commissioner Silver went up there, I got really nervous. I got really, really, really nervous because I was like, this is the best spot for him. If they don't take him, I'm worried he'll slide a little bit. Please say Reed Sheppard. Of course, the commissioner says Reed Sheppard. He's now a Houston Rocket, 3rd overall pick in the draft, first collegiate player did you hear the Jonathan Givenoy guy say French Revolution? That was fun because the first 2 pictures from France.
Yeah, cool. The French one.
But first collegiate player off the board. Carson, what was your reaction to hearing Reed Sheppard's name said by the commissioner?
Yeah, I mean, I almost got a little emotional there for a second because, I mean, Reed Sheppard embodies what it means to be a Kentucky boy, right? Yeah. I mean, he lived out every Kentucky boy's dream, and last night it came to an end. Now he does have an NBA career to accomplish, but he got to go to Kentucky. He was the best player on the Kentucky Wildcat team. Yeah. And then he was a top 3 draft pick. I mean, that every little kid in their front yard playing ball, counting down from 5, hitting the last second buzzer.
Miss it, get the rebound, make it the next time. Yeah.
Yes. Every little boy wants to do that. So you know, you just kind of sit there for a second and like, man, he made it. Like that's awesome.
Yeah. And I'll tell you with when Reed got drafted, I was on the way to Jimmy John's. I was watching on my phone. No, I was listening on my phone. Hold on now. And you know, when I heard Reed Sheppard, it was my first year covering the team, you know, like in person and getting to interview these players and getting to know these players and connect with them. And Reed's an awesome person. I mean, an awesome person. And so seeing like his dream come true, it was just really cool to see. I mean, it was a cool moment. I really enjoyed it. Happy for him, proud for him. I know the whole state is. And then Rob goes 8th overall, which by the way, I told you, I predicted 3 and 8. Like I've been predicting that for 2 weeks. Even when people said Rob was going to slip out of the top 10, I was like, Rob's going 8th overall.
Ball.
You can't. Well, I don't know about that. I speak on ball, but I wish I could. You can't bet on like draft like stuff in Kentucky. I was like, I wish I'd have parlayed that. But Rob gets drafted by the Spurs, traded immediately to the T-Wolves. Carson, thoughts on Rob getting drafted? Then we'll get to talking about Trent Noah.
Yeah, no, that was another exciting one. And oh my goodness, his suit was awesome. The best suit there. That was amazing. He looked awesome. But
he borrowed it from me.
I honestly love that he got traded to the T-Wolves. He got traded immediately to a contender. He doesn't have to. It would have been cool if he would have played on Spurs with Wemby because Wemby's going to be awesome. But going immediately to a contender, a Western Conference final appearance from the T-Wolves last year. And I think him and Anthony Edwards in the backcourt is going to be something to watch. That team, that might be my new NBA team. Honestly, I might just claim the T-Wolves right now because I don't really have a team. I kind of just root for the Kentucky guys.
Yeah,
but that team is going to be awesome to watch
with Cat and fellas. But you know, I wrote that in an article today. I was saying like, not often when you get picked 8th overall are you playing on a contender. He's on a contender, and it's gonna be fun to watch. So proud of those guys. But Carson, let's get into it. Trent Noah, what is his role going to look like as a player? What excites you about Trent Noah? Tell me what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I think Trent is very versatile, right? So he has size. He probably needs to get in the gym a little bit more, but he's going to bring fundamentals. He's for me, he's more of a forward. He's more of a forward. That's basically where I put him. Small forward, power forward. He can really do it both. He shot 43% from three last year, averaging 29.9. I'm gonna give him 30 points per game for Harlan County. He is another Kentucky boy, so it's gonna mean a little more to him put on the jersey. So he's gonna work to accomplish goals like Reed Shepherd accomplished last night. So I think year one, I think his role is gonna be small. Don't get me wrong, but once again, I don't think it's gonna be because he's not talented.
Well, I don't want to push back on something you said, but I want to, what he's okay. You know what he's listed as? Height and weight. Height and weights are now on the Kentucky roster, but don't go look at the roster. Go read it over Wildcats Today. That's what I would do. But you know what he's listed at height and weight on the roster? I think you're gonna be a little surprised by this.
I would guess, this is a just guess, I'd say 6'6", 230, 245, 240.
Oh. Okay, never mind. Then you're not going to be surprised by what I have to say. He's listed at 6'5", 209. Well, because when you said that he needs to, build, how are you going to sit here and say he needs to build a little muscle? And
I didn't mean get in the gym as in build muscle.
Oh,
I meant it as agility.
I got you. I thought when you said that, I thought you meant like put on muscle. And I'm like,
no.
6'6", 230. He needs to hit the gym?
Sorry. I didn't mean to get you twisted up. No, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. That's for sure. But I meant like laterally, maybe.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. I get what you're saying. No, but like seeing him in person, because when I saw him in person the other day, that was my immediate reaction. Was like, he's not small. I thought he's been one of those kind of twig, needs to, get in the college weight room, which you still, of course, everybody needs to get in the college weight room. I mean, I didn't get in the college weight room, but, yeah, but 6'5", 209, you'll take that. So I think he'll be more of a two. I still think he's going to play the two in college. You don't agree?
I see him more as a three and maybe an undersized four.
With that ability to shoot, though, you don't. The three, you can talk me into the three. The four, you're not talking me into him playing power forward at 6'5".
It would be definitely an undersized look for sure. Yeah. But I think his body allows him to play bigger than his size is.
And he's athletic. He's got hops.
Like Dennis Rodman was never the tallest guy on the court, but his body and physicality always allowed him to play way taller than he was.
You're the worst. People the worst be like, well, I mean, he can't play Dennis Rodman. He was like, he most rebound. No, that is the worst. You're the worst. That is the worst. You're the worst.
Can't fight stats.
I know. Well, because you're right, but it's annoying. Oh gosh. But so and when it comes to role, Carson, I'm with you. I think that Trent Noah, I've never seen him play in person. I've obviously watched full games and highlights, and he's a great basketball player. I don't see him playing a huge role this season, So, but as we said yesterday with Travis Perry, they're going to be on the court throughout their Kentucky career. And I don't think these are the type of guys that are going to be here for a year and hit that portal. These are Kentucky kids. They want to play here. They're here to play. And
they're here to prove a point.
Yeah, and Coach Pope didn't just take them to be on the team and transfer in a year. Coach Pope has a vision and a plan for these two. So then let me ask you this, Carson. Trent Noah, Travis Perry, who has a bigger role for this team? I wonder if you have a different
year one. I'd say Travis.
Okay, we agree then. We agree there. But
I just think Travis is. I'd say. Just because of his role and how well he moves off the ball, I think he could get more minutes than Trent. But, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Trent does well.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that Trent is going to play minutes in some of the non-conference games that aren't your Duke, Clemson, Louisville, type of games.
What's going to be hilarious is when we're up by 20 on, like, Vandy and they put Travis, Colin Chandler, Trent Noah, and basically they're walk-ons, but they're going to go out there and go crazy.
Now I got to ask you. And we're going to have a player preview on him probably next week. Did you just group Colin Chandler with those guys? Because I don't know if I agree with – I don't know.
I'm just saying as in a lineup.
Let's save it. Let's save that conversation, though. Let's save that for an actual show. Yeah. That's a good – but go and say what you're saying.
I'm not technically grouping him with those guys, but I think if at the end of the game, I think he'll be in with those guys.
Okay, that's fair. I was going to say I don't – if you thought that, I would say we need to have a argument about that. That'll be a fun show. We'll figure that out.
I'm high on Colin Chandler. Don't want to give any spoilers. But.
Yeah, we'll get in there. But so I mean, I think that's what his role is going to look like. I think Trent Noah is a really good basketball player. But once again, it's the same. This is a similar conversation to what we had yesterday with Travis. It's okay. So let's say he's the 3. You've got Kobe, Brea, Jackson Robinson. You've got those style of guys. He's not gonna take minutes from those guys as a freshman.
Well, that's the reality. I'd group in Ortega with those 2 guys because I think
Ortega. I knew there was a name that I needed to say. Yes, and Ortega. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he's not gonna take their minutes, and it's the same thing. Like say what you want. Okay, Carter Knox. If Carter Knox was a part of this team. Is he taking a ton of minutes from those guys? Like, that's what I'm saying. Carter Knox would obviously be in the rotation and play minutes.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't start over some of those guys. And so the reason I bring up names like that, like we said with Boogie Fland yesterday, not to put those guys, down or anything. All I'm simply saying there is that it's not because Trent Noah isn't a super high-ranked guy. It's because the players in front of him are really good players, veteran, older guys. That's the reality here. And that's why I kind of wanted to make that point. So, Carson, any other thoughts on Trent Noah before we call it a day? We got a couple of housekeeping things before we call it a day, but any other thoughts?
No, that's pretty much all I had. But I do think Trent is going to come in with a chip on his shoulder because Kentucky boys are going to come into Kentucky. They saw what Reed Sheppard accomplished. They're going to come in wanting to do the same. So I feel like his trajectory is only going to go up once he gets in this program.
Yeah, agreed. So your guy, Carson, I'm going to let you talk about it, is planning to visit in the next couple of weeks, couple of months. Who's that? And are you pretty pumped up or what?
Yeah, no. Darren Peterson announced that he's planning a visit here soon. Yeah. The dates aren't finalized, I don't think.
They are.
But I'm really excited, especially to be one of those one of the first teams to get a visit, I would say. It means that he's very interested.
He's scheduling a lot, though, is the only problem.
He is.
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. But I'd say we are definitely one of the teams to look out for. I'd group us in one of the – I wouldn't say we're in a leader spot. I don't think any team's in a leader spot just yet because I think this recruitment might drag out a little longer than normal. But I'd say we're in the top group. If I had to pick 5 teams, I'd put UK in one of the top 5 slots. So I'm really excited, and he's a stud. So we need to go all in.
Agreed. And then next week, Carson, I haven't told you this. I kind of did a little bit, but we're going to probably on Tuesday take a break from our player preview series, and we'll do one on Thursday. But I have a fun conversation that we're going to have on Tuesday about, with the heights and weights now officially on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about comparing this year's roster to last year's roster when it has to do with physicality, stuff like that. I think there's a couple fun conversations, especially in the front court. Because we're talking about comparing, Aaron Bradshaw to Amari Williams, just when it comes to physicality, which we'll actually get to see that on display this year, which when we play Ohio State. But which Aaron Bradshaw's awesome. So, we're rooting for Aaron Bradshaw to succeed, except for that game.
Talk about a high class character. Aaron Bradshaw. Yeah. I'll never speak badly about that guy.
No, yes, but except for we want him to play not good against us, and then the rest of the game he can be great and then be a top 10 pick. All that's fine, just not here. Last thing, Carson. Then we're actually gonna wrap. But so that's a Tuesday plan, and I just found this so funny, and I'm sure you saw it, Carson. We're trying not to be the continue to talk about Coach Cal club because we're not. But when I saw this, I'm like, we have to because this is hilarious. Did you see what Arkansas tweeted yesterday?
Yeah. Yeah,
they basically tweeted like, and they're getting hammered by everybody. We're just making fun of Arkansas here. They basically tweeted like, oh, look at all these draft picks. It's like, come on now. Come on. It was a right when Reed and Rob win. It's like that. Yeah. That's a little, yeah, it was that was funny. Did they delete? I wonder if they deleted it. I don't know, but go check it out.
I don't know. They got a lot of slack for it. I listened to KSR today. The Pardon My Take guys were on there.
Yeah.
Which if y'all haven't listened, y'all
and some guy named Jack from Oakland.
Yeah. Some guy named Jack from Oakland came on, and some guy named Rick Pitino came on there too.
Yeah.
So it was a good listen. I'd go listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah. But that is
a lot of slack.
Yeah, no, so check that post out of it. So there, it was hilarious. But that is going to do it for this week here at the Wildcats Today podcast. Carson, have a awesome time this weekend in Nashville with the family, with the fellas. Have a good time. Hope everybody has an outstanding weekend. The 4th of July is coming up. There's a lot of fun stuff coming up. So hope everybody has a great weekend, and we will see you on Tuesday.